Let's talk about anger. Anger about insomnia. Anger about health issues. The fact that our lives have been totally interrupted. Our health has been in the gutter. Everything that we dreamed or thought of that we would be doing in our golden age is not happening because we're obsessed about getting enough sleep tonight. We're worried about what are we going to put in our mouths not to upset some delicate balance that would make us wake up at 2 o'clock at night and not sleep until morning. I don't know about you, everybody deals with it differently. I had a lot of this feeling of deep-seated anger, just being upset that this happened to me, that this is something that I have to deal with when my friends are out on the beach or by the lake or having a party and I have to leave at 10 p.m. because I'm exhausted and I'm hiding that. And deep inside, I feel just ruined, traumatized, upset, pissed off at the whole world. But what to do? I know this is something that we have to deal with, and the way I processed it was so many different ways, and it depended on the day and the year and overall what was happening in my life. But over the time I learned to just kind of live with it. Not really accept it, because it's so difficult to accept that we're going through this. And insomnia is such a traumatizing event. It's very difficult to accept it and say, oh, look, I'm going to be this hero, Mother Teresa, I'm just going to suffer through it and so on, But I think with time we all find our relationship to insomnia, to whatever evil happens to us in our lives. We're humans by design, are capable of adapting to the situation, to our environment and so on. So mostly the game is mental, even though it's very difficult physically and the fatigue follows us everywhere. The game is really played out in our minds. And if we think about it, if it is our mind, and that's what Buddhists say in many of these wisdom traditions, that the suffering takes place in the mind. The sensation is in the body, but suffering is in the mind. And when we think about it, if it's the mind that can suffer or experience happiness, then it might make sense to work with our minds, to look deep into the source and nature of suffering and pain and anger and work with it somehow, because that's all we have to left with, right? We can't be upset or pissed off for the rest of our lives, or as long as this takes. We have to work through it and perhaps maybe find some silver lining. So it took me many years, but this is what I did. First of all, the most healing element has always been nature for me. When I'm in nature, these thoughts subside, the anger subsides, and that's because nature by itself is exuding harmony and peace and quiet when it's of course in a good mood, right? So, and our bodies and minds tend to harmonize with whatever the environment is around us. So if we're looking at a quiet, peaceful forest, our minds harmonize, identify with that and calm down. Our whole nervous system calms down just because we're looking at something very peaceful. So that's one of the easiest ways, is to just hang out in nature and wait it out. The second thing is really dive deep into this insomnia issues, and I've done so many different experiments, as you know, if you've been watching this channel, and eventually realize that nobody's going to come out and save you. There's no doctor out there that's going to hold your hand 24/7, evaluate all of your symptoms, brainstorm together why you're having a reaction, why you're having a paradoxical reaction to one supplement, and why you're intolerant this or that food. Nobody's going to take so much time to be with you. So it's up to us. We really have to become our own doctors, and that's what I did. And once I did that, I said, okay, it doesn't matter how long it takes. I'll dig through the answers, and I'll find the answers. And once you take responsibility, not necessarily for your, situation, but for how you react to the situation, then you kind of give yourself an empowering sort of view of like taking control of what needs to be done. And what needs to be done is self-education. Even if you're brain fogged, fatigued, tired, whatever, you take information and you digest it piece by piece. You take things apart and you analyze things. And this report that I offer, this guide for free, is based on many years of experience of looking deep into the root causes. So I put it down in the comments below, and feel free to download it and check it out. It goes into all the different potential root causes of insomnia. Anyways, once you take control of this situation, once you decide that you're gonna get down to the bottom of this, then you have to just deal with your own expectations. I noticed many times that what's making me really angry, and I'm like, okay, I'm upset that I don't have control over this situation, right? What else is like fear, the fear that my life is totally ruined, that I won't be able to go to work tomorrow with clear head, I won't be able to perform, I won't be able to make money. Most of the time it's fear. Now, in our cultural paradigm, it just happens so that women are more process this kind of fear as sadness. They may cry and so on, but and I'm generalizing, so apologize. But men, we're not taught that we can be sad. We're like, you have to be big boys, macho, you have to suffer through it, boys don't cry, and so what's left? If we can't be sad about our situation, what's left? Anger, right? Right? We have to be like, we get really angry. And what do we get angry at? It's like whatever becomes the object of our minds that's closest to us. Whether it's family members, dogs, cats, things, people on the road, people, doctors, friends, anybody, it becomes an object of our anger. Why? Because we simply can't process sadness. We can't come to terms with our situation so easily. And I'm talking mostly about men in this situation. So, you know what? I've broken down so many times and I just cried. I fell face down into my pillow and wept and cried, and you know what? I felt so damn good. I was like, it was catharsis, like release, just allowing yourself to be totally, deeply upset and let it out through sadness, through fear, through tears, and then you just kind of process this as like, you realize this, there's this concept I like from the Andean shamanism of your inner child, right? My inner child, your inner child, has been hurt by this, traumatized, upset, but we've been kind of ignoring it, and then you have to kind of just say, look, there's a little child in me that's very upset and it's fearful, and you kind of connect with that and you say, it's okay. You tell to your own inner child, it's okay, it's all right, buddy, we'll make it through it. And you kind of hold your own small child inside of you by the hand, lovingly. And then you know what that does? It redirects your attention towards, oh, poor me, towards this little child. And the mood and the attention switches from anger to compassion, You're feeling for this little child inside of you. And you're saying, it's okay, it will work. So these are just a few things that one can work with when we're dealing with anger from insomnia. And there's so many different ones. If this is something useful, leave a comment and we can talk about these things, because self-care is huge component. It's going to be up to us to take care of ourselves, to deal with our anger, to deal with our despair and upset. We have to buy time and find answers. Today I'm offering you a free guide where you can start looking for answers. Just look in the comments below and give me some feedback. I've gone deep into the rabbit hole and explored toxicity, environmental toxins, various different bio interferences that could be messing with our sleep. And I wrote a pretty long report, and I offer it for free. So feel free to download it. And let me know in the comments how you're dealing with your anger and being upset, and what methods you find useful. Okay, so hang in there and get well. I'll talk to you next time. See you soon.